Chillax, bro. Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Restless Corpse,
And this is Providence.
and we are Virtual Bromance. We're going to do something a little different today. We're doing our first live show, and we're going to talk about something awesome, as the title says.
Yeah,
So,
or many things that are awesome, I suppose, is also possible.
yeah, it wouldn't be really all that fun if we just did, like, one awesome thing.
Like we could talk about this jacket.
We can't really see your jacket, bro.
No, it's you could see, it's.
Talk about that sweet-ass poster.
We could talk about the Zone of the Enders poster. Like
Uh,
like this.
maybe we should talk about Zone of the Enders a little later.
we,
But
we could do that. We very
for-
likely could do that.
what we're going to do first is go ahead and let people who may be watching the show or have never seen any of our stuff, we're going to talk about like what Virtual Bromance is.
I feel very underdressed. You didn't even remind me
Yeah,
of
see, I
my
have
tuxedo.
our inaugural show like tux on. I mean, you knew I was wearing the tux. Just saying.
I don't know what to say. Clearly, I'm just not as committed to this as you are. I don't know.
I'm done.
Man, I mean,
I'm
that is a really.
All right, so Virtual Bromance is something that Providence and I started a couple months ago, although we had been talking about it for like a year. maybe
Yeah,
a year and a half,
there was a
something
fair
like
amount of
that.
time that went into it. Yeah, a lot of planning.
Right, and then all that planning was for naught because we just kind of stumble around and make videos. But we're just two bros that have been like super best friends for like 10 years, a little over, playing video games and whatnot. And we've always just like kind of before the whole Xbox Live thing, we used to like hang out together and play video games and have our little banter and whatnot. And I actually gave John his first Xbox, but that's not when we started playing video games, is it? We started playing video games when you got your PS3.
You're right. When I got my PS3 and I bought a Call of Duty 4, we did a lot of Modern Warfare in there.
Right, which I had already been playing Call of Duty on Xbox for a long time, Call of Duty 4, and I was super excited when he got a PS3, so I went out and bought another copy, and we played a whole bunch. Is that the only thing we played together on PS3?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't have many games for the PS3.
Right, and we just really didn't like the online service. There's not a whole lot of people that use like headsets and whatnot on PS3, so when I came into a little bit of extra money, I decided to upgrade my Xbox to an Elite, and when I did that, I gave John my old Xbox, and that kind of kicked everything off.
Yeah, that happened. It's totally true.
And of course, we continued playing Call of Duty 4 because he bought a second copy.
Sure did. And I had to get all my sweet shit back.
Right.
So get myself my G36 and whatnot.
Now, I kind of want to throw this in there before we continue. That does not mean that we're like Call of Duty fanboys, because we really don't play Call of Duty much anymore. Play a lot of Battlefield.
Well, you know, as
Other
we did,
games.
we did talk about that a bit today. You know, we're looking at.
Oh, Ghost, yeah.
Well, yeah, we're looking at Ghosts, for example, which is the first game since Call of Duty 4 to have an entirely new game engine. You know, in
Which
that
is
series.
why we're excited about it.
Right, because they're all pretty much the same up until this point. So it could be something really fantastic. But we're probably going to end up, over the next few weeks, we're probably going to end up playing some, I don't know, maybe Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 stuff streaming and otherwise, because we realized that most of our great, hilarious gaming stories came from that. I mean, we were talking about this earlier today, right? I mean, it's hard to get marketable and amusing sort of gameplay footage and commentary, color commentary, in a slower paced game like
Battlefield.
Yeah, like Battlefield's a great game, but I mean,
Which,
even
don't get me wrong, it's my favorite FPS to date. Battlefield 3 is like amazing.
I think that like if you see how well we've done with like the the end DLC stuff with the dirt bikes and stuff. Generally, the gameplay videos that we've gotten from that were more built on the fast pace screwing around.
You know, suspense, intrigue, action.
Right. Lots of like meeting women and seducing them. Oh wait, sorry, no, we're not doing that. No.
Maybe I am. What?
Not in game. I mean, did they add a mechanic for that?
Right. I don't know if they did. I'd totally get it though. in any case, moving on.
The scoring with chicks Battlefield expansion pack.
Right. So continue. What were you talking about before I derailed you? Just how awesome.
Well, we were talking about how our most of the good gameplay videos that we've done came from faster paced kind of stuff. We do a lot of co-op stuff and we do a lot of multiplayer stuff, and I think given the large scale of Battlefield and the size of the maps, it tends to be a little bit more slow. Right. In the gameplay department, we do a lot more like running to get to objectives and stuff like that.
And that's because, and I want to clarify this, we play on Xbox, which is the smaller matches for Battlefield 3 anyway. So that's why it's slower. Because I just can see people out there being like, Battlefield 3 is not a slow game. What are you guys talking about? On console, it kind of is. I mean,
yeah. Compared to Call of Duty, I think it's a slower game. I think there's, with the different character classes and stuff, I mean, I think that really reflects
so much more cool
the versatility of the game. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. I'm not poo-pooing the game in any way. Poo-poo. But no, I think it's fantastic. But I think that we've recently gotten into stuff like doing Borderlands with full parties of people, or Borderlands 2 I should say, and we do our
streaming. We don't have any. I don't have any videos up on the YouTube channel of Borderlands, but we've been streaming it a lot. Right.
I mean, we started new characters, the new Gunzerker and Assassin that we ran through to mid-20s, I think.
Late. No, because I was doing it for the achievement for 0, so it was at least 31.
For 0, but I didn't.
Oh right, you didn't.
I didn't have to
go that far.
Yeah, I was done. I was done with the Gunzerker achievement at 23 or whatever it was.
Right.
But we do that, and we do the Payday with the round robin thing for our SMS stuff with Digital Psychosis. We play a lot of Payday.
Which we should probably start doing Borderlands now that I've finally gotten off my ass and picked up a copy for PC. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, the only downside to doing that is that we end up with 5 people a lot, and that means that doing a round robin for that is a little more difficult.
Well, that's true.
But I mean, I'm pretty stoked for Payday 2 in August. That should be good.
Yeah, I actually haven't. Have you watched any videos or anything about that? Because I have not.
No,
just wondering.
I feel like
that'd be pretty cool to talk about if we knew anything about it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of our gameplay videos and streaming stuff has really suffered from the fact that I'm in school and stuff. So right. I have my last couple of exams next week.
And I'm the kind of guy where if I'm really excited about something, I tend to not watch a lot of videos and read a bunch of articles about it because I want to kind of get the full experience when I get the game.
Right, and whereas I like to get all the information that I can beforehand. So, I'm pretty stoked for the Borderlands DLC at the end of June. That'll be really kick-ass.
Yeah, and that means that in subsequent shows you're going to be way more interesting than me. Just saying.
It'll happen. I like to watch videos and I like to read about things. It's how I roll.
Right.
I'm not, but then again, I'm more like I pick and choose the stuff that I'm into. I think you have more of a variety of games that you're dealing with.
That is true.
And I'm backlogged. I'm backlogged into Oblivion right now. Not the game. I mean, I'm done with Oblivion, and not that movie with Tom Cruise either. I'm done. But I'm screwing around with Borderlands 2 still because I want a psycho that I can level up real well, but I still want to do. Even though everybody else says it's terrible, I still want to do some bug hunt stuff in Colonial Marines. I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that in a little bit. I know that everybody shit talks Alien Colonial Marines. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but we will talk about that in a little bit because that's something that we've been doing. So.
And we want to talk about that in this show?
I'm not saying you need to shut up about it. I'm just saying
in this show you want to talk about it.
Well, when we get to the games that we're playing and things like that. Which sounds
because of an episode of we're already started doing that now, I suppose. Because of a conversation during an episode of Digital Psychosis before it shifted to 5 a.m. when I couldn't watch it anymore. I went and bought a Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3 just because I wanted to geek out about Gundam in it, and it's a Dynasty Warriors game.
I know. Here's the deal: Gundam is like super awesome, right?
It's terrible in video games. They've never made a really good.
I only
Gundam
played the
game.
first one. Remember, we were super excited when it was coming out. I went out and I bought it, and I finished it in like a day and a half, and I went and traded it back in. If you've played a Dynasty Warriors game, you've played a Dynasty Warriors Gundam.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. The only I figure that I may get some enjoyment out of it playing it with my son. That might work.
Now, that brings me to a point that I think that you're going to be pretty excited about talking about. Let's talk about the one Gundam game that is awesome.
Which one? Zeonic Front?
MS Saga, bro.
Oh, MS Saga. Well, there's two. Zeonic Front was actually really good.
That's the super slow, like...
Yeah, more strategic,
Zabu type stuff.
Yeah,
I remember that one. We played that one together.
Yeah, that was a PS2 game.
When we lived together.
Which was really kick-ass. MS Saga. Oh man, I still get depressed about this game because if the sales had been like just a smidgen better, they were going to make a sequel that was going to have like a whole bunch of more shit in it. It was going to be amazing. People struggled with it because all the Gundams, all the mobile suits were all super deformed mobile suits, and if people did any research, I mean, they did that because the proportions are inconsistent between series, so they needed to get everything to like a concrete like mid-level, and the best way to do that was to super deform everything to make it so that all the parts could be interchangeable.
Right.
And I don't think that being super deformed made Sazabi any less badass or Wing Zero any less like breathtaking. Like, I think that the game was still great. I think that with ridiculous names like Hell Vizart, they and Tremmy and whatever the hell else, I think it was Bazuli. Yeah, Bazuli with a wolf on his head.
Right.
I think it's a kick-ass game. I mean, it's from the late era of Japanese style, turn-based RPGs.
Which I still have a soft spot right here for.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I'm not nearly as big of a Gundam fan as John is, and I am a Gundam fan, just not nearly as big as he is, and I still think the game is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think it was spot on. I think it was a fantastic game.
In any case, we have totally diverted from the whole like portion of the show here. We're to get back to like who we are and what we do. John and I, like I said, have been friends for over a decade. We work together.
Yeah, we worked together today. It was fantastic.
Right,
it was really great.
That's where we talked about what we were going to do tonight. We are in a band together, which now that I think about it, we should totally put up there by the links.
Yeah, we probably should add that in there.
And we just
the
played
band
a show
isn't
in Green Bay.
Yes, where the Packers are from.
Right.
The band is AmPsych. We're on WT2 Records. It's not like we're not just a garage band. We've had the band. We're going on 10 years now. We've been signed for I think 4 years.
Right.
3 or 4 years now. Signed to WT2 Records out of Chicago. So we'll because we own the rights to the music. And it's licensed, whatever.
Periodically,
we'll periodically be using the music. When we do streaming, we occasionally will throw on everything we have, including like incomplete demos and shit. We'll go on there.
Right.
which I think is fun for people. Hot damn, those are some fancy looking logos.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that, but it's pretty awesome. And we hang out all the time and drink together because we do that.
That's what bros do. Yeah.
And the reason we started Virtual Bromance is because we have a lot of fun when we play like co-op games and multiplayer games and things like that. And we're not egotistical about it, but we kind of think that maybe other people would enjoy hanging out with us while we play
enjoy seeing me do my signature move where I park the Jeep too close to the tanker trailer and blow us up, or
when you want to show me how your flamethrower looks and you blow yourself up with an underslung missile launcher. That's pretty cool. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This is pretty good.
and that actually brings us to our next section here.
Yeah, our list. Well, wait, I think that that list is really, I think it's the clincher of everything that we're doing this evening. I think it really it embodies
we spent the most time
all that we are.
About,
and I feel like maybe we could do a little bit more. Like we could talk a little bit about I've mentioned now. I think we should do the things that we're playing and that sort of thing first. Right. I think that we should save the best for last, and I think that the list.
Do you think that's the best part?
I think that the list is it's something that we've talked about for weeks. I think that it's something that really comes into play with all of the other videos that we do. I think that with a sort of cheat sheet for people to reference, it'll make watching our other videos more enjoyable to people. They'll look for those things.
Right.
So I think that we should. Jesus, sorry, I'm getting messages from the boss here, from work actually, but I think that that'll be the most fun that people will get out of this. So I think that we could finish up talking about things that we've been playing. I mean, like I said, I know I've been playing Borderlands 2. I'm trying to finish the Walking Dead game on Xbox Live.
What episode are you up to now?
3. I'm in episode 3.
I had just finished 3 before I started playing other stuff. So I still have 4 and 5 to do. I think I downloaded them. I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah. I have Assassin's Creed 3, which I'm just running around in right now because...
Have you gotten to the naval battles yet?
Yes.
Because that is the best part of the game.
And apparently that's like the backbone of the next game. So,
Because there was public outcry about how awesome that was and how they needed to make more.
Seriously?
I would go on the forums to talk about it, and everybody was like, if you made a game that was just this, I would totally buy it. And then out comes Assassin's Creed 4, which looks like it's going to be mostly that. So I'm actually pretty stoked. Yeah. Like, this is the first Assassin's Creed that I'm really stoked to play. Because I love the series. Don't get me wrong.
I've been a huge fan of the series pretty much all along, but I kind of fell behind with Revelations and 3 because other things were coming out, and for some reason they fell into the category of things that I could just push off and then grab them later when the price dropped or whatever. And I think that kind of bit me in the ass with 3 because I spent so much time trying to just hammer through Revelations that by the time I got to 3, I was spent. Like I was burnt out because I've talked to you about this, and I was telling Gemma about it. Like I get into an Assassin's Creed game, and somehow I'm like running around, and I'm playing for 6-7 hours, just fucking around, running around, climbing buildings, jumping across fucking rooftops, like assassinating guys, robbing places, fucking buying buildings, and I look after like 7 hours, and I'm like, I have one achievement, and it's for fucking entering the Animus again. What the fuck am I doing? Like, I clearly am not doing anything worthwhile. So, like, at that point, like, I start to do the story missions and realize that I already own all the buildings, and I'm getting like $20,000 every 20 minutes or whatever, and it breaks the game.
Yeah, but I do that too, and I play a lot more open world games than you do. Like I played GTA and Saints Row and stuff like that.
Right.
And
I always just play that in Infamous pretty much.
I always do as many like side stuff as possible for continuing with the story. So I mean that doesn't really faze me. Like I do that in Assassin's Creed games too, but I don't get the same feeling from it. as you do, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I go down the rabbit hole. Is really the problem with it, and I spend like weeks at a time just looking for treasure chests, gathering animus fragments, finding feathers, stupid shit.
Yeah, dude, feathers.
We also started playing Gears of War 3 because I fell way behind on that as well, and Gears of War had been our iconic bromance sort of series, so we need to get back to that.
Speaking of Gears, though it wasn't the first game that we played together online, it was like the first game that we really got into co-op gaming with.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that
First Gears.
I think that the first Gears of War was like the birth of a huge movement in co-op gaming for a lot of people.
Right. Because it was so smooth, it was drop in, drop out.
The drop in, drop out was really what did it. Yeah.
Yeah. Any game that does not do drop in, drop out co-op is like shooting themselves in the foot at this point.
Right.
And
I mean,
I hear the new Star Wars game is not drop in, drop out.
Star Trek, you mean?
Star Trek, yeah, and it pisses people off. Apparently, you have to start the mission over to get a co-op.
It's asinine.
Did we ever test and see if that's the way Aliens was?
I'm not sure.
Does that drop in? I don't know.
It
if
might
it is.
be.
Yeah, regardless, we've
played a lot of Colonial Marines, even though a lot of people really don't like it. We have a lot of fun with it, mostly because I'm a huge fan of the movies. David's a big fan of the movies, but we are complete asshats when we play this game. Like the shit that comes out of our mouths.
Right, we have to make it fun somehow. Because don't get me wrong, like a lot of the criticism that the game gets is warranted. Some of it isn't, because and I noticed this, and he noticed it when we were grinding out challenges in the game by ourselves. Playing it solo is not fun,
right,
at all. But playing it with at least just one other person actually makes the game fun. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a badass game, but it's good enough when you're playing with your friends. But anyway, continue.
It's nowhere near as terrible as everyone says it is. I think is the best way of what I've always said since we played it. What else? Oh, and we both just finished Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and for me that was
best
like
soundtrack ever. Throwing that out
best
there.
soundtrack ever. I immediately went on Amazon and bought the soundtrack.
We were actually
for me
listening,
it was a shocking
to those songs psyching up for the show.
Yeah,
and
I've never played a Far Cry game. I'm not familiar with the style of obviously it's a first person sort of open world game, but I had no reference point. I saw the trailer for Blood Dragon early on, thought it looked hilarious, but was like, oh, it's probably just a DLC. It's no big deal. I'm not going to buy a game just to play this.
Right, and I was really
and then
worried
they released
that it was going to be a DLC.
Right, and then it got released as a standalone game, and we both hammered the shit out of that game.
I actually played the entire game streaming to Twitch.
Yeah,
I often do.
I loved the shit out of it. It was amazing, and I'm really glad that I took a hiatus from everything else I was playing to play that instead. I mean, Michael Biehn.
Right. I mean, he makes the game. Michael Biehn and the soundtrack.
Which is funny because a lot of people say that his voice acting in Colonial Marines was horrendously bad, but I think that he actually... Well, I think he talks like Michael Biehn talks. I don't think that the guy is...
In Colonial Marines, it just sounded like he was reading the script, whereas in Blood Dragon, I think he has a little bit more fun with it.
I suppose.
And he just throws shit out there. And I think... I'm like... when it comes to voice acting in a game, that can actually make or break whether I like the game or not. So voice acting is really important to me in a game, because I can't get into it if not even the actors aren't into it. Take Two Worlds, for example. I know everybody bitches about it, but literally from the first line of dialogue in the game, I hated it. I don't know. Did you ever play Two Worlds?
No.
It's not good. Two Worlds 2 is a little better. Two Worlds 2 is a little better. The voice acting is loads better. Still not good. And I never finished.
Well, I mean, I suppose there are times that you've recommended games that you've said like the game is pretty good. It's not but the voice acting sells it. Like
Dead Rising, first of all. Holy
shit!
When Dead Rising first came out, I was blown away by the voice acting in the game.
Bastion. You're like Dude, the narration is amazing. You're gonna love the game just for the narration. The gameplay itself, pretty average, pretty like run of the mill kind of like smashing stuff kind of action game. But yeah,
the
and Bastion's a
storyline and the
fantastic
voice
game.
acting in Bastion is badass. So.
The kid's pretty good, man. He's pretty good.
And speaking of Blood Dragon, since we're still on that topic, we did obviously a lot of people know by now that they've been talking about a full-length like sequel. John seems to think that that might ruin it.
I absolutely think they might ruin it. I think that they'll suffer sequel performance anxiety. they're gonna blow their wad too early. No, I think that it'll have stupid shit. Like I think that, you know, if you look at Blood Dragon as a game, I think the property sort of incorporates like a very select list of awesome films. I mean, you get, well, there's some that get more references than others, I suppose. It's like heavily built on Terminator and RoboCop and I know they reference Krull with the weapon at the end. The what's it called?
Star.
The Kill Star is basically like, hey, look, it's the star from Krull. But they reference, you know, Terminator 2 and whatever, but Commando I think is referenced, and like all of stuff in that certain genre. But
Aliens with the burning the eggs.
Oh yeah, and you know, my major concern is that they're going to start trying to incorporate bullshit. Like the reality of it is that the genre is what sells the game, and if they start to say, oh, you know, we need to like spread out, you know, broaden the genre, we need to incorporate like 90s movies.
Yeah, no, if they leave the 80s, it's a no-go. Just saying.
If they start incorporating bad boys jokes, I'm done. I'm done. Screw you. You can keep your fucking game. I'm not going to buy it.
What if a shark kills LL Cool J's bird?
I'm into it. I'm into it.
All right. Just throwing that out there. So you're not even. I mean, you're going to give him a chance, right?
Yeah. But I'm not getting my hopes up. I really feel like,
for me, it's like they did so well with the game. Like they surpassed all my expectations when I saw the trailer.
Right, which to me means that the likelihood of them doing that well again is pretty low.
That, I guess, or the likelihood of them being just like us and actually loving that era and those movies, maybe they'll do it justice, man. You don't know.
Excuse me. Maybe, but you know, there's nowhere to say. Like, I mean,
you could argue that they've already kind of blown their load. I guess they've referenced all these movies, and they'd have to reference the same movies again to keep it cool.
They've spent a lot of content.
Yeah, I suppose. I will still buy the shit out of the game and play the shit out of the game, and I'll let you know. How about that?
I'm into it.
All right.
I mean, I hope that it's good. I don't want to get my hopes up and be disappointed when it fails.
Right. All right, so what else have you been playing? We went off on a big tangent.
There's some other stuff probably, but I don't even know. I think that covers most of what's in heavy rotation right now. I'm working on busting my ass up to max level cap in Borderlands 2 with my with Krieg,
right,
in preparation for the next DLC at the end of June.
You know, I really want to get Krieg, but it upsets me that he was not included in the season pass.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll probably get it eventually, but I'm more excited about the assault on Dragon Keep.
Yeah, which, like I said, I'll have Krieg for that, hopefully.
Right. Which means I'll have to download a giant ass fucking compatibility thing, but you know. Whatever.
Not that I don't love my level 61 assassin, but you know,
commando guy. Just saying.
Well, yeah, I know you like to go commando.
You know it. Doing it right now.
Gross.
So okay, well then I guess I'll talk about what I've been playing, because I've been playing a lot of like.
You got notes there?
No, this is the thing that we wrote earlier. I've been playing some of the same stuff, but also a lot of like drastically different stuff. So that you guys know, we've always been console gamers our entire lives. I started with an Intellivision and an Atari, and I believe John started with the NES, or did you start right with the SNES?
SNES it was.
So
Played a little bit of NES, but moved out. It's really first one I owned was a SNES.
right, and since then I've had almost every console that's come out, at least for a brief time. Um, Never really got into the PC games, although I played like point and click adventures like Sierra games. One of my favorites is Quest for Glory, and I have some of those videos up on YouTube.
I mean, I love the Conan game for the Apple IIc that we had. That was fantastic.
And Oregon Trail. I mean, come on.
Oregon Trail, Hard Hat Mac,
Right.
Load Runner.
I was a fan of Missile Command, and
Load Runner Level Builder was really great.
Commander Keen. I was a fan of. I liked Duke Nukem back when it was a 2D side.
MF and Joust.
Joust was cool. I played like games like Thexeter, which was
Pre-
John. As a matter of fact, if you could get a hold of a copy of Thexeter, it's super old and super dated, but it's like basically you're piloting a Veritech. It's fucking cool. Like you go from like jet mode to robot mode. I mean, it's badass.
Good.
Super hard though. Never finished it.
What about the shit? What was I gonna say? Joust. Joust.
Joust is cool.
Joust.
I think you can get Joust on Xbox Live now. I know you can get it on Steam.
Shut the front door.
Oh, you're gonna look now. In any case, so that being said, I finally have recently bought a pretty like banging PC. So I've been playing a lot of stuff on PC. I've been taking advantage of Steam sales, things like that. So when it comes to games that I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 2 because I'm playing with John streaming it. Been playing. I played through Defiance for about a week until it kind of got. The game is okay, but I didn't have anybody to play with, so I was running around by myself, and it's pointless. So I stopped playing that.
No Joust, bro. You just totally got my hopes up for nothing.
No. Look for the arcade cabinet thing. I think it shows up. It's like an add-on for the arcade cabinet. In any case, so those things, I fire up like Black Ops 2 every once in a while just to stream a couple matches, but Call of Duty is not really my thing anymore. We talk about how the pinnacle of Call of Duty action was Modern Warfare 2.
Well, right.
Although John is more of a Call of Duty 4 guy.
Yeah, but I do agree that the better variety of weapons and the fact that
he's just salty because none of the other games have a G36.
Wrong. Modern Warfare 3 has a G36.
Does it?
I know. Yeah, I spent one of my prestige tokens to permanent.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, Modern Warfare 2 didn't.
It's true. But it had the. What did I use? The F2000 in that?
F2000.
No, there was.
You gonna leave me hanging?
The F2000. Okay. No, I used something else regularly in there. I don't remember. Oh, that's when I became the ump guy.
Right. And I just want to go off on a side note here. How happy he was when he got the G36 in Battlefield 3. Was it the G36? Yeah, on the engineer class. In any case, all right. So I've been playing those games, but because I just bought a pretty badass PC, I've been, like I said, taking advantage of Steam sales and things. So most recently, I bought Borderlands 2 on PC, and I've been playing through that, which is a little tougher for me. I won't get into the whole YouTube thing right now, but suffice to say, I have like a series on YouTube called A Console Gamer in PC Land, where I talk about like the difficulties of someone who's been playing on a console forever, trying to go to a mouse and keyboard. So I've been playing that. I bought Battlefield 3 for the PC. That was the first game I bought when I bought the new PC. Premium the hell out of it because Marquez Monolith is where it's at, and I needed that.
Dirt bikes.
And end game with the dirt bikes. Though, seriously, riding on a dirt bike in first-person mode on the PC is scary. I think I told you that. It's scary because
you said
so fucking fast.
You said that they were hard to control in third-person mode on PC.
On the PC they are, yeah. But on the Xbox, your view snaps back to where it was if you move the camera around, so it's not a big deal. So I've been playing that. I've been playing a lot of smaller titles like Lone Survivor, which I've streamed a little bit. It's It's like a 16-bit looking survival horror game, like 2D side-scrolling, really cool game.
Lone Survivor. I like that. I
Badass.
like the style of that name, bro.
Dude, you should check it out.
No,
It's
no,
pretty
no.
cheap.
I think they could have gone with I think there's a
Well,
better name they could have gone with.
Yes, but apparently I can't bring that up right now. We'll have to get to that in a little bit. But first of all, right when I fired the game up, the title screen music is some of the coolest non-Blood Dragon music ever.
Okay. All right.
It is.
Dude,
It's
good
seriously like I
clarification.
sat there on the title screen and just listened to the song all the way through. It
Was it like
badass.
when the Unsolved Mysteries theme starts? Man, I always get excited when I hear that one.
I don't even remember that.
That's fine.
I don't remember the Unsolved Mysteries.
People can YouTube it. It'll be amazing.
I kind of remember the Current Affair music though. So that I've been playing Surgeon Simulator 2013,
Yeah, you have.
which if anybody has watched the Digital Psychosis show, they can see sometimes my gameplay between their breaks, and that is
What?
super fun.
They run
Oh
your
yeah, you
gameplay
missed
between
that,
breaks?
didn't you? Because you haven't been watching because it's late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke will throw a video up during the break sometimes of me playing Surgeon Simulator.
Seriously?
Yeah. This last week he did Snuggle Truck, but because I haven't sent him any new videos. But the game is fucking hilarious. I have a lot of fun playing it. The only problem is it's short. There's only like it's I think 7 different surgeries you can do, and there's really no reason other than like a score attack to try to better your score to keep playing. So I need to find some way to make that fun again because I really like the game. I would really like to look at my my Steam library to get to continue this, but I can't.
I also forgot that I bought the new, which you probably will want to play eventually, the new Dishonored DLC. Which,
Yeah, well, I'll have to borrow it from you to play it though.
yeah, you can't do that because I bought it. I bought a digital
you
copy.
Son of a bit. Well, I might just have to go over to your house and play it.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I've been playing is DayZ. I love DayZ with a fucking passion. I play it all the time. I play on a whitelist like RP server. I've got a couple videos up.
Would you play it in a box?
I would
Would you play it
some
with a
socks.
fox? Oh, yeah.
I don't know the rhyme, but yeah.
Would you play it here or there?
I would play it
Would you
anywhere.
Play it anywhere. Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, when we're done with the show, I might just play some DayZ. But I played it at least a couple hours a day. John. God damn it. He's teasing me with these fucking gold bears. And like I said, I have a few videos up on YouTube. I have a series, the DayZ Chronicles, that I put up.
When you remember to record audio.
Yeah, I did record. I did record most recently 3.5 hours of gameplay to set up episode 4, and realized when I met someone else in the game and tried to talk to him that my mic was muted, so I had to throw all that footage out. But yeah, so that's what I'm playing recently. I'm trying to look at my list here. I played Halo with Laura at 42, which is a sweet ass bar that just opened in Milwaukee. A gamer themed bar. And I think that's it.
Oh, I've been playing Final Fantasy IV Complete Collection on my PSP.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
It's really tough to
that's-
play with my throbbing erection every time I turn it on.
The complete collection is with all the after years stuff.
Yeah, it's got the, what is it called? After Years and the In Between or whatever.
I don't know. When the after years stuff first came out, back when you could only get it on the Wii, that's when I played the first 2.
Yeah, I didn't have a Wii at the time. But I later got a Wii for the kids, and so I think I bought the first episode on there. Let's see here. Complete collection includes it's a graphical overhaul of.
I don't remember graphical overhaul though.
Yeah, complete collection's a graphical overhaul.
Is it
It's not
is
like
it as cool as the Final Fantasy IV graphical overhaul on the DS?
this is Final Fantasy IV.
Right, but is it
And
as cool
no,
as
it's
that?
it's
Okay.
not like that though. It's more like the original graphics but cleaned up.
Oh, okay.
And it's the what does this? It says the after years. It's the after years and something else. That's not being listed here, but I know that the one is the where you get to like follow up on like Kane's whole thing, but
Right.
that's probably the after years. It's when he becomes the like ascended dragon knight or whatever.
Do you still get to play as Glamrock Cecil?
Well, yeah. The picture that I use is actually the picture from the game.
Oh, okay, nice. It's good to know.
The picture
That would be the one right there.
up there.
All right, cool.
I'm pretty sure that's the one directly from the gameplay, actually.
Word.
But yeah, that's pretty fantastic. I mean, it's I'm not putting the like breakneck pace into it that I normally would with a Final Fantasy game.
So, would you go so far as to say the rate at which you play the game could be called like shitter speed?
Yeah. No, it's
Like,
it's
you know,
it's
I'm
either
not saying
it's
that
either
you only play it on the shitter, but about that frequency.
yeah, I suppose. I mean, I do a bunch of like. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So I'm like
Dude,
Ultima Weapon in Final
Speaking-
Fantasy IV.
Speaking of the shitter, that's one that we forgot to list, which I will throw at the end of the list.
Okay. Shitter's clear, bro. So, but no, I mean,
broadcast.
I think I play a little bit more than shitter pace. Depending on like I'll play my PSP like
Masturbatory pace.
when the kids are here, like so I'll like sit outside.
Never forget that I said that. Then never mind.
Right, so like my kids will be running around the house, and I'll sit on the couch and I'll play, so I can kind of be present while they're running around, or I'll sit outside and I'll play a little bit then, or you know, that kind of thing.
I kind of wish that any of my handheld devices still worked.
Thought your PSP did work.
I don't have a charge cord for it anymore.
Oh well, that's a problem. I have
My DS.
wait. Oh yeah, it's not.
Grab
never
that
mind.
real quick. Oh no! Alright. Crisis averted. My DS, as
I'm
you
playing
can see,
Crisis as well.
is super dirty.
It's pretty good. I like
Yeah,
your skull
it
candy
is.
sticker.
It's-
Oh my god, what
Yeah,
did
I know.
you do to that?
I just found it in the bottom of my video game chest, and that's how it
Did you
was.
wipe your butt with that?
Maybe my daughter did back in the day. But yeah, I charged it up, and I couldn't get it turned back on, so that's a shame. I don't know what game's in it. Oh, I took the game out. I think that cool space RPG was in it. I can't remember the name of it now, but so what are you looking up right now?
I'm not looking up anything. I was, just kind of browsing.
Oh, all right. So does that conclude what we've been playing lately?
Yeah, do we want to take a break before we go into the meat of the show here? Or what?
What are we gonna do for a break?
I don't know, man. Put up the sweet ass logo, and I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. How's that sound?
But I don't have.
So, the way that we did this was actually, as we were saying earlier, there over the many years of us playing games together, we've developed a sort of a vernacular, I guess is the best word.
Lexicon, if you
Our
will.
own lexicon is the word I was thinking. Yeah.
Vernacular is still a pretty good word.
Yeah. And there are a lot of things that we say. I mean, a lot of it can be credited to the people we've played with over the years. The other two people watching are us.
Yeah, that's John and me.
But there are things that come up as our running jokes. James throws a lot of get those jokes into play frequently. But if you were to watch any of our gameplay videos, they're things that we say frequently. And we sort of take for granted the fact that we've always said them, so we know what we're meaning when we say those things. That doesn't necessarily mean that anyone else knows what we're talking about. So
Right.
we felt like it would be more fun, and I think that maybe this whole segment will end up being its own little isolated video on YouTube that is the lexicon of virtual bromance.
Right. Now, before we get into it, I kind of want to point out that the reason these things kind of became common was because they made us laugh when they were first said, and that means that because of that we kept like bringing them up, and then they just turned into common parlance. So I'm just gonna go right into the list here with
If we'll kick off each one. We'll do an explanation,
right.
give you a contextual sort of feel for it.
And I'm gonna start the list with my absolute favorite, which is the dude yard sale.
The dude yard sale. Oh man, no, the dude yard sale. That one's been around for quite some time, I think.
It's probably our oldest one, yeah.
It's a Call of Duty 4 one, I think. You know, James, you and James generally get more dude yard sales than I do because I'm just not as skilled. I mean, I can point out a dude yard sale, but when I get one, it's really like a clutch moment for me.
Right, right. So let's go over what it means, and then I will actually bring up how because I was the first one to say it, and I'll bring up where I got it from and why I use it so much. But what a dude yard sale is it's an FPS term for us anyway, because I don't think we've ever played a third-person shooter that had enough people for a dude yard sale. But in an FPS game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, mostly happens on Call of Duty. Let's say you run around a corner and there's a shit ton of dudes from the other team like ready to mow you down. A dude yard sale is when you do that and there's 3 or more enemy players within sight.
Generally in close proximity to each other,
Right.
enough that you can mow them down with like one clip.
Right,
I would
a
think.
dude yard sale is never impossible to get for free. Because then it's just a shit ton of dudes. But a dude yard sale, and what I mean by get for free is, if let's say there's 3, maybe 5 guys that you see in this dude yard sale. If you kill more than half, like before they kill you, that means you got the dude yard sale for half price. If you kill everyone and you live, that means you got the dude yard sale for free.
Never impossible to get for free.
Right.
Is that what you meant?
Yes. That's what
All
I
right.
said, isn't it?
Yeah, but
All right.
is that a double negative? It is never impossible. No, it's not that's not a double negative.
Right. It's never impossible. Meaning it is possible. But so what'll happen is I'll say, holy shit, I ran around the corner and there's a dude yard sale. John will then ask how much I got it for. And if I say half price, that means that I died in this dude yard sale, but I took most of them down with me. And if I say I got it for free, then that means I killed everyone and I'm still alive. If I say it was too expensive, that means I didn't get anybody.
Which
Happens
I generally
more often than
encounter
not,
expensive dude yard sales.
Right.
Yeah, that one's all right.
Now-
That's your favorite, really?
That is my favorite, just because it's something that it's our oldest one, and it really kicked off. And I believe I might have brought this up when I first said it, but I got dude yard sale from Boondock Saints actually when he says it's like a scumbag yard sale in there. That's where it came from.
Right on. All right.
Right. And I
What's-
can't feel bad about this segment because I have a list and you don't. But
That's okay.
But you know some of the stuff, so if you just throw one out, then I'll skip it when we get to the list. So or I can just go down the list, man.
Well, I can
Whatever.
tell you that the one that we've been using heavily, recently, is absolutely the last guy.
The last guy, and you have to say it in that voice. You can't.
The
just
last
say-
guy.
You have to say the last guy.
And the last guy, there are a number of ways in which the last guy can be applied. I think that it can refer to the last guy of the bad guys.
Right.
because you killed the last guy. Though I think, more enjoy when you are the last guy,
which happens most of the time in Battlefield 3
or if we're playing Space Marine,
or Space Marine.
you are frequently the last guy. In
Yeah.
fact, the last time we did Space Marine,
I was the last guy for like 10 minutes. It was ridiculous.
yes, which got you player of the week in the SMS group. Yeah, the last guy, and you said the last guy started from playing with Josh, my nephew.
That's when it got popular. I don't necessarily remember when it came up, but I know that we have a video on YouTube, the epic battle for some C. It's a Battlefield 3 match on, I believe, it was Azadi Palace, and we were playing with John's nephew, who has one of the coolest gamer tags ever, Unit Awesome.
Yeah.
And we were up in the upper level flag, which I believe is D, and Josh was the last guy, and I don't remember what he said, but he was like, "Oh, I'm the last guy alive," and I was like, "The last guy," and we laughed about it for fucking 5 minutes.
So we now far more celebrate being the last guy. My shirt's doing that thing that you make fun of, where it looks like I'm wearing a rope around my torso.
Good times.
Yeah, the last guy is totally my favorite. We hammered the shit out of that phrase the last time we did a game night with Digital Psychosis.
Right, and that's actually one of those phrases that comes out when we're not playing video games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So moving on, I'm gonna go with when you're hanging out with that guy like he's your best friend.
You be doing that shit all the time.
I do that a lot, and that's because it only really happens in first-person shooters because you have no peripheral vision. So sometimes you'll be like running along, shooting dudes, or just hanging out and
then you post up,
and then all of a sudden, John will run around the corner and kill some enemy that was standing right next to me, not killing me. Apparently, he didn't know I was there either, and he'll be like, "What are you doing, hanging out with that guy like he's your best friend?" And that basically means I just saved your life because there was a dude there that probably could have killed you that you didn't see.
And it doesn't only happen in competitive game modes either. I mean, it happens in Borderlands. It happens.
As a matter of fact, I think it happens more versus AI because, for the most part, if you're playing a competitive multiplayer game and somebody sneaks up on you, they're going to kill you.
They're going to get your tags, bro. They're going to get your tags, bro.
Get your tags, which we will get to a little later.
No, man, we could segue into getting your tags right now.
All right. Let's get his tags or take his tags. We used to play with big groups a while back, at least 5 people, and generally playing Battlefield because that's where it came from.
We were playing Bad Company.
Yeah, Bad Company, and also Call of Duty. If you have a group that's a little too big, sometimes it'll put somebody else on the other team, somebody in your group on the other team, and it came about in Bad Company because John and I were both seriously addicted with knifing guys and taking dog tags. I had something before I stopped playing, I had something like 700 dog tags.
Well, we were taking stock, oh man, I got that same guy's dog tags 8 times. We must have played a bunch of matches against that dude.
Right. And so it became an obsession with us. Anytime somebody got put on the other team, we would bum rush him and try to kill him and take his tags. Well,
the objective of the game really was put in the back seat for a little while, and and the entire goal was we got to find that guy and get his fucking tags. Which
kind of turned into us having horrible kill death ratios sometimes because for some reason people on their team just didn't like us running up and knifing them.
Jerks.
So that kind of started to carry over into other games that didn't have that mechanic.
That don't have dog tags.
Right. Where if they were put on the other team, most recently Space Marine, somebody gets put on the other team, we're like, get his tags! Right at the beginning, and that turns into us trying to kill them and nobody else for the rest of the match. So that's where that came from, and that's actually still pretty fun. I do that all the time, but
yeah,
I get kind of excited when somebody in our group is put on the other team, and I feel bad for them.
All right, moving on.
In any case, moving on. Do you want me to just continue here?
Yeah. Just grab another one, man.
All right. A really popular for one is long dicking,
Oh yeah, long dickin's a great
but
one.
you got to say
Yeah.
it without the G. It's long dicking.
Yeah.
And long dicking is when you kill someone from really long range.
It's when you put the longest dick you had out there.
Right. It's when you kill somebody from really long range with a weapon that's not meant to be used at that range, like a pistol. You snipe somebody with a pistol. You yell out, "I just long dicked that guy," or long dicked him. You know, like John, back to Bad Company. John used to long dick people with an RPG all the time.
It's true.
Ridiculous.
It's true. Yeah, lots of long dicking with the RPG.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that reference dicks. Actually, now that I think about it, there's dick shooting, which we don't have on the list, but
Right.
we do a lot of things where jokes turn into songs as well. I know David
Like
used to
dick
sing the name of anybody that he was killing.
Yeah, anytime, like in Call of Duty or Battlefield, I'd kill somebody and their name would pop up, and I would just sing their name, like Providence, after I killed them. Things like that. I don't do that much anymore because now I just say things like "suck it" or "fuck you" or it really diminishes the shit talking in games these days, where people on the other team can't hear you, so it kind of ruins it.
Well, you say that, but we were always really, really dead set about having our private party set up for Call of Duty.
Yes, because oh my god,
Because
I don't wanna get
the
into that.
community for it is so terrible. I mean, it's like the worst thing about Call of Duty is the people that play it.
Right.
But yeah, so that led to like other things that became musical numbers, like dick shooting, which generally is followed by a doo doo doo
Yeah.
from somebody else on the team.
Right. You can't do it yourself. If somebody else says dick shooting, you can throw out a doo 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 at the end because it's from one of our videos from Battlefield that we put in.
And going along the lines of musical things, I mean, we're pop culture guys. I mean, we watch a lot of movies, we watch a lot of TV, we do a lot of those things. So like we like to have fun with the names of things. So we got obsessed with the F.
Are you going to segue into the
F2000?
Well, I'm talking about the particular name that we have taken to be one of our terms.
I'm not sure. Well, we're going to do the F2000 first, and then we'll go. For example, the F2000, which I think this started in Modern Warfare 2, that we were using the F2000, and I used the F2000 in Modern Warfare 2 only because it sounded like the pulse rifle from Aliens.
And it looked cool.
Right.
And this is one of the ones that you and James actually got popular among our group, because you and James started doing it first.
Because we were both using the F2000, and really, when you kill a guy with the F2000, I mean, you take the Conan O'Brien cue, and it's the F2000, and then
you can't do this again. This is one of those ones where you can't do by yourself. But then after that, someone else on the team would be like the F2000, and then, that'd be the thing. Like, but it has to be. And if somebody doesn't do it, you're like, bro, you're leaving me hanging. Like, what's going on? So
love the F2000.
Yeah. And then because I brought it up and you didn't remember, it's critical. It's critical.
It's critical.
Now that actually comes from the name of someone that was on the other team when we were playing Call of Duty 4. We didn't know the guy, never talked to the guy. We've only played like 1 or 2 matches against the guy. I think.
So if you're friends with the guy named It's Critical, we're not picking on him specifically.
Right. It's nothing against him. It's just his name was hilarious. So we started, giving it a Captain Price voice, and there's no real like instigator for that one. It just comes up. We'll just be like, it's critical, and everybody else will be like, it's critical.
It's infectious, is what it is. It's critically infectious.
Right.
We used to do a lot more of
like
grabbing
Tony
random.
Two-Time? Oh,
Tony
man.
Two-Time. I mean, there are times when you see, and I think that it's kind of anybody's goal when they pick a gamer tag and they decide to stick with it.
Jared, again, I got dressed up because this is our debut.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm a schlub, but you see somebody in the lobby who's got a good name, a name that's like you think is funny or ridiculous or whatever, and you have fun with it. I mean, it doesn't mean that you think you think any less of them as a person unless they've demonstrated otherwise. But
or certain things like 20 X's before and after your name.
Yeah,
we'll make fun of you.
But the thing is that we're not like in a public chat making fun of the person to them. I mean, we're sort of joking amongst ourselves. I mean, I think there was a night that we made fun of literally every name that came through the lobby when we were playing Call of Duty with James. I mean, it just happens. It's
it's not like a disrespect thing. As a matter of fact,
right. And I think that
there's a lot of things that we don't do, like teabagging. We don't do any of that shit. We don't talk shit.
We will do teabagging to our own guys,
to each other. Yes. Yeah.
But I think that that whole attitude really takes away from the game. It's all about fun. I mean, there's a couple of guys that we play with from time to time that get real serious. They get really upset, and that sort of takes away from our enjoyment. We would rather be fun to play with than be really good.
That's not to say that we suck, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Most of the time we're a little bit higher than middle of the bar, but
yeah. But if you
we don't get too serious about it.
Right. If you can't enjoy playing the game and make jokes and whatever, even when you're losing your ass, why bother playing? It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. And I think that a lot of people, especially now with the way gaming culture is, I think that a lot of people have really lost sight of that. And we're given the opportunity to play with other people. I mean, when we were younger, like that just wasn't an option unless you were having like a time splitters party at your house. Like you have your screen split into 4 sections and everybody's playing time splitters. I mean, that was fantastic, but there's no point anymore.
Right. So yeah, it's critical.
It's critical.
Right. So moving on to the next one. This is something that one of our friends, James, who's gone through several different gamer tags now, so I'm not even going to bring it up because his most recent one is a pain. It's painful to say.
We don't like it.
Yeah, but it's something that he said that literally, like, we just busted out laughing and we could not stop. And it's from Modern Warfare 2, or is it 3? Whichever map had the trailers, because that's when he first said it. 2.
The trailer park one is
yeah,
Modern
Trailer
Warfare 2.
Park
Wait, no, that's 3. It's 3 because we recently talked about like all the maps in 3 and how they were kind of That's in 3, yeah.
So that's the first time that he said it, and like for me it was almost like I couldn't keep playing. I was laughing so hard, and it comes from him using the M9 to kill someone. And James is one of those guys where when he kills someone, he'll like generally use their name or like what he killed them with to say something funny. And
he's very
also
much
very animated.
He's always a knife to meet you guy. He's a no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. He's that guy.
Right. And he was trying to snipe. He was sniping at the time, and I think somebody got him real close.
The goods.
And he whipped out the M9 and like headshot the guy or whatever. And he screamed. He was like, "Oh, M9 Shyamalan, bitch!" And we were like, "What the fuck?" So, M9 Shyamalan is like the thing when you kill somebody with a pistol.
Which is funny because that is actually, because of that joke, it has turned the M9 into our, like, as far as I can tell, our go-to sidearm, always.
The M9 is the shit. I'm a big fan. Even though there's often better guns, the M9 is cool just because of that.
Just because of the possibility of being able to M9 Shyamalan somebody.
Right.
Love that one. That's probably my favorite. The M9 Shyamalan's probably my favorite.
Because it was like, seriously, again, I couldn't play for a couple minutes. I was laughing. I was crying. It was so funny. And then we're going to go to the Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, Jesus.
And
which is what happens when you let your mom play the game or something.
Right. That was actually, we coined that term when we started playing with Rusty.
Because when he started playing, he had been a PC player for years and years and years.
He had come to.
Well, he played Call of Duty 4 on PC a lot, but he had never really been a console guy. So going from
we
PC
convinced
controls,
him to buy an Xbox. We convinced him to buy Bad Company. We convinced him to buy Modern
Warfare. Right. And now he's like running his YouTube channel playing Black Ops 2 exclusively like a fiend. But
Right.
when he started, I mean, if you've played PC and console, you'll know that the learning curve is really intense.
Jared's losing his shit, bro.
That's good. That's good. The learning curve is intense, and your aiming is really where you really suffer. I mean, because if you're just pointing with your mouse, I mean, it's a lot easier.
Dude, don't do that. If you're just pointing with your, and I'm like, whoa, whoa.
But in those first couple matches, I mean, he was Wile E. Coyote and the hell out of people. I mean, now he's absolutely a far better player than he was then. But it was the it was just like when you had your girlfriend play. It was, well, she shot into the sky a
And
lot.
you
She
guys
thought it
didn't
was
believe
like,
me. You guys didn't believe me at first that she was playing.
but it's
That was a World
when
at
you
War
it's
thing.
when you fire like a full clip at somebody and you've effectively drawn an outline around them, Looney Tunes style.
And not a single bullet hit him. Yeah. And
The Wile E. Coyote.
yeah, it's a Wile E. Coyote. So that one's pretty self-explanatory and short. This is a really good one, and this is one of the ones that like kind of cracks me up if we forget to do it, and it's behind.
It's behind, which is a reference to M. Night Shyamalan's Signs
Right.
from the video of the whatever Venezuelan or whatever, I can't remember what country it's in, but when the kids at the birthday party, it's the big reveal of the movie. It's like the scariest like shocker moment in the film where you see the alien for the first time when it's off like down there's like a sidewalk with bushes, like a shrubbery along the one side and the house on the other side, and they're yelling and the kids are yelling and they're yelling and they're yelling it's behind, and then you see the leg move or you see it like shift and walk out into plain view, and Joaquin Phoenix like nearly pisses himself. He's wearing his aluminum foil hat. It's a ridiculous scene in the movie, and it's because of that. Like, who gives a shit about the movie?
Right.
That line has stuck with us since that movie, and if you're like running squad tactics and a dude like flanks you, you need to let your bros know where they at. And the best way to let them know is it's behind. But if you don't say it's behind, if you say, dude, there's a dude behind us, you can't count on people knowing.
We actually refuse to acknowledge it. So like, let's say I'm, running toward a flag in Battlefield, and John's like behind me, and he's trying to watch my back. And if he says, "Dude, there's a dude behind you," and I get killed, I'm gonna generally it's a if you would have said "eats behind," I might have turned around and killed that guy. So it's kind of your fault that I died. Or sometimes we'll be like, "Wait, what did you say?" Oh, it's behind, and then we'll be like, "Oh, okay," and turn around and kill the guy. So
Yeah,
that's,
he's behind.
That's the eats behind.
He's behind.
Right, and the reason that was so funny to us is it just kind of came out one time while we were playing at one of the Modern Warfares, and it's so funny for us because like for a while we couldn't remember where it came from.
Yeah, right,
And
right.
obviously the voice of the kid that says it is hilarious. All right, so the next one isn't. I'm not sure that it's necessarily exclusive to us, but we use it a lot, and it's the two banger or three banger or what have you, and that really goes with the
Ye old double banger.
right, which that came from James, the ye part, and it cracked me up. But this is used in tandem with the dude yard sale a lot, because after you declare how much you got it for. Generally, someone will ask how many people were in there, and then you
How many bangers?
It was a 4-banger, bro.
How many bangers were there?
How many bangers were there? Yeah. And who knows where the fuck we got that one from? It's just something that people have always said.
That's very likely a James thing. We get a lot of great things from James. That guy.
What?
The train game.
The train game.
Tom Murray.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So, but we used that like before I started working at Heart, so it can't really. When we first started playing games together with because I don't think James started it. I think you started it.
I don't know, man.
It doesn't really matter. We're gonna move on to something that. All right, when we play Call of Duty, we exclusively play headquarters.
Damn right.
And we exclusively try to play hardcore headquarters because we're hardcore guys.
Yeah, and then they do shit where they add the game mode, and we play it, we love it, everything's going well, and then they take the game mode away and give you stupid shit instead. Way to go. Way to go, Activision.
Thanks, Treyarch. Anyway.
No, that was Modern Warfare 3 when they did that. Jerks.
Yeah, but Treyarch doesn't even put hardcore headquarters.
It's because Treyarch is full of assholes. And invisible walls.
But in any case...
Oh, shit! We never... Getting Treyarched, bro.
All right, we'll throw that one in next then. Because we play... it's not necessarily even just headquarters. We play domination, too. Sometimes because we don't want to play core, we want to play hardcore, and they don't have hardcore headquarters, so we play hardcore domination. But it's any objective-based game mode where you have to go somewhere and stay there.
Where you have to be inner?
Yeah, it's I'm inner. It means that don't fucking throw grenades into the HQ because I'm inner.
And sometimes you have to yell, but I told you I was in there.
Right.
But,
or if it's like, they throw a grenade in and kill you, and you're like, dude, and they're like, what? I didn't know. I said I'm in there. So, so then the person who threw the grenade has to hang his head in shame and whatever.
Yeah, think about what he's done. Right.
Right. So, what was the one that you just brought up that we forgot that we were going to go into? Well, tell me you forgot.
Son of a bitch.
You forgot. Oh,
maybe Jared. Okay. Oh, getting Treyarched, yeah.
Getting Treyarched is actually something that we use mostly in shitty games. Mostly in shitty games because good games don't fucking do this.
Right.
And getting Treyarched is when you are trying to go somewhere and an invisible wall will not let you go there.
Right, like World at War.
Well, that's a Treyarch game, so obviously you're going to get Treyarch.
World at War, I think, is the one that always stands out for me because
Black Ops 2 did it.
There was the one map where it's like there's little wooden, like half-height wooden fences all around the map, and you're hopping over the fences, and then you look, and there's a train car, and there's a little wooden fence behind it, and then there's some bushes, and you're like, oh, shit, that looks like a great spot to go over there and pop some fucking rounds at some dudes. So you run your ass over there, you're getting lit up or whatever, you duck into cover behind that little wooden, or you duck into cover behind the train car, and you're like, I'm going to hop over there, I'm going to get in there, right behind that fence. You run over the fence, you jump, and you don't even hook on anything. Like, if you're going to have a wall there, why not put a fucking wall? Why not put another train car? Why does it have to be a fence? You can't have
the same thing that you have in the middle of the map that you can jump over be your edge of the map that you can't jump over. It just doesn't work.
Make it a double fence.
Also, and this happened most recently in Aliens Colonial Marines, don't use something flimsy like caution tape as the edge of your map. Because I am not a soldier, and I can run straight through some caution tape and not even break stride.
Well, I would speculate that in the distant future of Aliens Colonial Marines, the technology behind the forging, if you will, of caution tape must be greatly advanced.
Well, remember, there's the doorway that's covered in caution tape that you can't go through, and then you move a little further, and there's a doorway with like one strand of caution tape that you can't go through, and that's ridiculous. So that's getting Treyarched.
Yeah, stupid Treyarch. And actually,
Treyarch is the perpetrator of the invisible wall more than anyone else.
There are a number of reasons why I cashed out on playing Treyarch games. I mean, I bought World at War, and it frustrated the hell out of me.
On my recommendation, I feel bad.
I played it. I never even reached top level multiplayer. Another example of Treyarch. No, I never got high enough level to do it. Okay. Another example of stupid programming that Treyarch did was we need to make the game more difficult for the campaign mode, so what we'll do is we'll give every NPC unlimited grenades, and they'll all throw them at the same time.
Yeah, it's almost like their programming makes them throw grenades more than shoot their weapon.
Yeah.
It's super fucking annoying.
And that was Treyarch. The other thing that what were you going to say about that?
I was going to say that was I first noticed that during World at War, because when I get a Call of Duty game, I start right on veteran. Like, that's just my thing, because I don't, you know, I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm just gonna start on veteran. And there was a point in World at War where I was really getting my shit pushed in. Like, it was tough. It was tough. Like, I was fighting for cover. I was reloading checkpoints like 100 times before I would get to the next part, and it was frustrating the shit out of me. And the only reason is I would like make this epic dash to cover, get shot up a lot, have to, you know, duck behind the cover and let my health refill. And while I'm sitting there, I would be literally like mashing the grenade button as fast as I can
to throw grenades back
all the grenades that landed at my feet, and it was ridiculous. And it just it made me so pissed off that was the first time I ever like rage quit a single player game. I swear to God. I mean, I eventually finished the game, but it's
you know,
ridiculous.
and so the invisible walls, the grenade spam, and the other thing that has since World at War driven me nuts about Treyarch, and I played enough Black Ops when I was in Australia to see that it was a problem there, and I assume it's probably the same problem in Black Ops 2, is their multiplayer map designs are complete horseshit.
Right, we actually talked about this.
It looks like
a few weeks ago.
Not only are they designed for like just like people to just hang out and snipe across the map, but it looks like someone took their little palette tool in Photoshop and went and just splattered shit all over everything. There's just bullshit everywhere.
Right, whereas our Infinity Ward favorite maps are actually real-world style locations, like Vacant.
Yep, always Vacant.
Sweet-ass fucking map. And it's just because it's an office building plopped down next to a yard with some shipping containers and a parking lot. Nothing special about it, just an office building. Terminal. Badass map, just an airport. Nothing special about the airport. There's no, like, nooks and crannies that wouldn't be in an airport. And when it comes to a Treyarch game, it's like they make old school Doom style fucking maps where it's like just a twisting corridors that don't make any sense. Like, why would anybody build an area like this? The people that work here got to be pissed off going to work every day because they get lost in this stupid maze trying to get to their cubicle. It's ridiculous.
All right, we just totally like sidetracked into hating Treyarch.
No, because we were talking about getting Treyarched.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, so we'll move on to another one of my favorites. And I think you might have said this first, but I kind of brought it into common parlance, if you will. This is from playing Domination. Now, when you're by yourself and you're playing Domination, it takes forever for the flag to be taken. So sometimes you need your bros to go over there and help you.
Because it makes you capture faster.
Right, because it makes you capture faster. So you put a call out for some dude power. So you
dude
say,
power.
I need more dude power over here. And then sometimes it'll be like, dude power, dude power.
Which, again, the singing happens. Yeah, I mean, if you can get a full squad, if you can get like full on dude power on a flag,
it's like that, bro.
Yeah, you're taking care of business, man.
Right, and that's important because we, and that brings me to like an off-topic fact here about us and games like that. We don't generally play like team death matches or free-for-alls. We play objective-based games, and that's why a lot of our terminology comes from games from like Headquarters or Conquest on Battlefield or, you know, Rush. Rush is a really good game mode for me that you don't really like all that much.
I'm more of a Conquest guy than a Rush guy, but
right. So all of these game modes require dude power. So we get in there and we give it the dude power, if you know. Shut up.
Sometimes people need a little manpower.
Right.
I mean,
right. We're nearing the end of the list here. We actually have two more.
All right, two more.
And one of them is a really good one that makes us feel awesome when we can pull it off. And that's when you John Woo someone.
The John Woo, which, as I said earlier today when we talked about this, I'm so obsessed with the John Woo that I do the John Woo when I'm playing games by myself.
Right.
Like,
because it makes you feel like a badass.
I actually verbally will declare a John Woo when I'm sitting here by
Are
myself.
you like, yeah, John Woo? And look around to see if anybody heard you?
I was playing Borderlands 2 last night. I was level grinding with Krieg, and I sprinted up. I jumped off a boat or something, and there was a bandit down below, and I had my shotgun, and I just lit that dude up, like right in the head. Fucking exploded him right as I was landing on him. Epic John Woo.
Right.
You know, you know, jumping over something, jumping through a window, always great. Jumping from a second floor is the ideal John Woo.
Right.
I find that John Woo with akimbo pistols is usually especially kick-ass.
That's a good one. And I kind of hate to say this because it's saying that something is awesome in a Treyarch game, but the way they added the diving really lends itself to John Wooing things. You can dive through a window, and although they screwed up and they don't let you shoot while you're in flight when you dive,
Yeah.
it still is pretty
But
cool.
can you be killed while in flight?
Yes.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. But, so, to clarify, John Wooing someone is when you jump over something and shoot them while you're in midair, jump through a window and shoot them while you're in midair, jump off a cliff.
Jump off a building.
Jump off, anything. Jump
You
over.
know, actually what
bonus
really lent
points
itself-
if you jump over the hood of a car while you do it.
Actually, what really lent itself to effective John Wooing was the what was the perk in Modern Warfare 2 that you didn't take falling damage. It was one of the
Commando I believe.
Commando Pro. You
Yeah.
didn't take falling damage anymore. You go to Favela with Commando Pro, run it across those rooftops, jump off like the top of a 2-story building, and John Woo the shit out of like 2 guys, maybe down by the soccer field down there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was good times. It was good times.
Very, very awesome. And we strive to John Woo as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And anytime you do it, you have to call it out.
I mean, Commando Pro became like a standard thing in most of my loadouts because of that. I wasn't using it to cheese my
you
knife
weren't
kills.
using it to phone in your knives.
Right. I wasn't abusing
Email
it.
knives
in a
to
way
people.
that was one of the perks that a lot of people criticized in making people overpowered, because the knife is always a one-hit kill. But within certain limitations, you can swipe at a guy occasionally and not kill him, right? Or is that only?
I think that's a latency thing. I think
Okay.
that on your end it looked like you knifed him, but on the server's end you weren't.
Oh, it's in Battlefield games that you can hit a guy and not kill
In
him.
Battlefield you have to be behind him to get the assassin kill.
Okay.
So
So
if you knife him 3 times from the side or front, it'll kill him too.
yeah. So I mean, I think that a lot of people criticized Commando Pro. They said it was overpowered, but I think it was more talking about the knife range. Whereas I was only using it because I want to be able to John Woo some fucking guys,
Right.
which I think is respectable.
Yeah, and it makes you look awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if your bros see you do it, I mean, they're gonna throw out the knuckles.
Yeah, right. And in Black Ops, when Black Ops first came out, they had the integrated save your videos and upload them. The only thing I ever saved and uploaded was me diving through a window and killing a guy. Just that little clip of it, and I was like, all right, never doing this again.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And the last thing.
The last guy. Oh, sorry.
The last thing is something that we don't really say a whole lot, but when we say it, it's like, yeah, and it's it has to do with throwing grenades.
Oh man.
Well,
there's
two ways to say it. There's 2 ways to say it. You can say I threw a Ralph, or I hit him with a nader. And you combine those two, and it's Ralph Nader.
I mean, the political jokes are always the best jokes, I think.
Right. So when you throw a grenade, or sometimes you'll be like,
I think that
get a Ralph in there, or get a nader in there.
I think that the Ralph is the terminology is most often used by Josh. I think that's one of his signature ones. He may have actually coined the term. Honestly, I don't. It was either you or Josh that I heard use it first.
It wasn't me, so it might have been Josh. But it's something that it's one of those things where we'll say, I just threw a grenade. Oh, I mean, I just threw a nader. Or I just threw a Ralph.
I just
we have
Ralphed.
to catch ourselves.
I just Ralphed all over that
Yeah,
guy.
I just Ralphed all over those dudes. Yeah, so that concludes the list that we could remember. There's always we'll be playing and we'll say something, be like, oh, we got to talk about that one too. So I'm sure that more will come up in subsequent episodes.
And I think that as a looking back over what we've accomplished by having this as our like sort of our test run show.
Or pilot, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, we've established some tone for sure. We're funny guys.
We also went way longer than we wanted to.
Right.
It's been 2 hours.
It happens, but we kind of had to get things up to speed, I suppose. But we do want to do some game reviews in the future. We do want to have a regular time slot. We do want to talk about things that are in development, what we're excited about from those things, like talking about Call of Duty Ghosts, and the new game engine, that kind of stuff.
Real quick before we cut out and before we're done, maybe we should talk about games we're excited about.
Lords of Shadow 2, bro.
I mean, continue what your thought there, but then we'll get into that.
Lords of Shadow 2.
Clearly.
But I think that we'll be doing a lot of that stuff. I don't think that we'll have like a really set formula. I think that trying to say that we're going to review a game every every episode is a little bit of a lofty aspiration, especially if we want to be reviewing something new every time.
Which is not really the way. I mean, we're going to try and review new shit all the time, but we're also going to throw in a review of like an old game that we like.
Right.
Now, that's how we do our YouTube channels. We just play whatever the fuck we want to play.
Right.
Whether it's old, whether it might not even be on a current gen console.
You know what? I'd like to propose that we wrap up the show with you giving me a top 5, bro.
A top 5 what though?
We discussed some top 5ing.
But you got to give me more information, bro. You can't just say top 5. Top 5 things I don't want to step on without shoes.
That's a really good list.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with as the closing top 5 of the pilot episode.
You have to reciprocate and tell.
Dude, I know the rules of top 5s. Come on. Who do you think you're talking to here?
That's not the question because there's only one person. I can't do a top 5 for that.
I'm the only one here, bro.
The last guy.
Right? What? What's he talking about?
I don't know.
So I want this top 5. It's going to be top 5 underrated hero characters from a video game.
Underrated hero characters?
Underrated hero characters.
There's a lot of like opinion in that.
Oh, the one that David just said was top 5 things that I don't want to step in without shoes on.
Right. Right. Okay, underrated characters, and these are like I said, it's an opinion. So people that I think are underrated. The first one I have to go with is Ashley Riot, bro. Like, he is like.
Who else?
Despite his fashion sense,
sandals and a paper shirt.
And a paper shirt. I'm not. I mean, he could put on a real shirt. Other than that, his game is awesome. His attitude in the game is awesome, and he's just like a super badass.
The game is Vagrant Story for anybody who has no idea what you're talking about.
This is a relatively tough one, bro.
Yeah.
I want to try and stay away from like. Remember when we were joking about top 5s and
I randomly threw out a list of all Square Enix characters. Yeah.
But I am gonna throw out another Square Enix character, and that's Fei Fong Wong from Xenogears. First of all, that game itself doesn't really get a whole lot of talk, even though it's like my favorite RPG ever. And a lot of people don't like him because he's really whiny at the beginning, but he comes into his own and it becomes badass, and he kills God. I mean, that's cool.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Not saying that I have anything against God, but if your character is badass enough to kill God, I mean, you're pretty badass. Let's see. I know I'm going to steal one of yours with this, and that's Dingo.
Dingo Egret is the fucking guy.
From Zone of the Enders 2. And we often talk about Dingo and Noman and their like relationship in the game and how fucking badass both of those characters are. So Dingo is my number 3. I don't put him above the other two just because, as much as I love Zone of the Enders, I think those games are a little better. I would put them on a higher pedestal. Shit, man. I'm gonna be hard pressed to find another two because they have to be underrated.
Well, that's all perspective, though. I mean,
Yeah, but I know personally, if I say a super popular character, I'm gonna know that I cheese that one. So I'm trying to think of Setzer, which we both love.
Setzer's badass. Yeah.
He didn't get very much time in the game from Final Fantasy VI. He didn't get very much time. He doesn't have like a real big spotlight on him. I mean, the opera scene is really cool, but that's really the only like him part that you get in the game.
Yeah, Daryl's tomb is the only other thing that's really a him thing.
Right. And I'm trying to stay away from the Square Enix characters.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Technically, he's a Squaresoft character. As a matter of fact, I think all of the three that I chose were Squaresoft characters, not Square Enix characters. But one more. I'm trying to look through my game list here and come up with them. I might have to do a tiny pass on this last one. Give myself a little bit of time to think. I'm not gonna pass altogether, but I need to.
Well, as you said, I mean, Dingo's on my list. Ashley Riot's on my list. Absolutely, those are two fantastic choices.
See, we talk about this a lot. Not this particular one, but we talked about.
I have another one that I think is an interesting one because it's based on timing. Like, I was a Raiden fan during Metal Gear 2 when everybody else hated him. So I think that
kind of hate him.
Right, but people are like,
you said, a timing thing. I like him now. I still dislike his role in.
Right. I mean, people are like, he was. Oh, he's so like when Metal Gear 2 came out, or Solid 2, sorry, came out. Everybody was so pissed off. And I thought it was a cool way to do the game. I thought it was cool to have like a younger, newer character with his own backstory. I even liked his ridiculous hair. I thought he was a great character, and everybody else hated him. And then Metal Gear 4 came out, and everybody was all, "Ooh, right, so badass. I always liked that character." And after years of hearing everybody shit on this character, I was like, "Screw you, people! I was the only one. I swear, I was the only one that thought this guy was kick-ass all along." Because I saw the potential. I mean, the game mechanic wasn't there, but now you got, Rising Revengeance with the most ridiculous name ever,
Right.
and it's the action game that Raiden always deserved.
So that's three.
Yeah, that's three.
Dingo, Ashley, and Raiden.
Yeah, I think from in terms of you talked Final Fantasy VI, and you talked about Setzer. I think Shadow was my guy.
But this is where I think the opinion thing comes in. All of my friends that like the game love Shadow.
Oh, well, you see,
just because he's a ninja and he's got a dog,
right?
Super awesome.
I don't even give a shit about the dog. Interceptor's badass. I'm not shit talking his dog,
badass.
Bro. But I like the fact that he has
an attack that probably would have killed you.
Yeah.
My bro.
No, I think that Shadow's a great character because of the cool backstory that you get. If you really scout around the game really, really hard, you'll find there's like 4 scenes where you find out all this weird info about him. Like you find out that Realm is his daughter. You find out that he was a bank robber, I believe, or a train robber, and his partner got killed during a heist, which is why he wore a mask and he went into hiding and bolted and whatever. Like all of that little stuff about him was what made him a cool character to me. Like, and he was an optional character. Like you had to get the Marvel shoes or whatever and put them on and go to the Coliseum in the World of Ruin and challenge him or whatever, and in order to get the character in the second half of the game. And if you didn't wait for him on the floating continent, he died.
He'd die, yeah.
So it was a very missable character, and I think he, had one of the cooler backstories. I mean, in terms of Final Fantasy VI, for me, it's either him or Locke all the time.
Yeah.
Then I know there's some other ones that are always like my go-to guys. I always like these weird characters. I don't think we can do anyone from Gears because they're all pretty popular.
Right.
Even stupid ass Carmine. Dag, bro.
I
Dag.
know it's fucking. We should have done a top 4. Would be set, but top 5. It's tough,
Yeah.
man. I'm racking my brain for like games with relatively underrated heroes, and that doesn't necessarily mean the game has to be underrated. I mean, the game could be
Screw it. Squall Lionheart. I'll take another square one. People don't like Squall. I don't give a shit. Squall's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll
He's
give
got
you
a
that
sweet
one.
jacket. He's got a sweet jacket. He's got cool guy hair. He's got a scar.
I'll give you that one, but I wouldn't put him in my top 5.
Just pulling one out of my cool guy pile just in case.
Right. Let's see, and I'm trying to stay away from Square as well. I don't know, man. I don't think I have. I don't think I have a 5th. I can't do it.
Oh, come on. You can't do it.
I'm trying not to be like elitist.
Gaz? Is Gaz maybe your guy?
Gaz is. I don't think he was really underrated. I mean, a lot of people that I knew anyway thought Gaz was awesome. Gaz was my guy. He's one of the coolest parts that I think Modern Warfare had. To the point where in Modern Warfare 2, I was really hoping that Ghost was going to turn out to be Gaz. Did not happen.
Right.
And I'm kind of glad it didn't happen because Ghost got shot in the face. But, you know.
In much the same way that Gaz got shot in the face.
Right. Good call. They were pretty much, yeah.
Same voice actor, same dude, same death. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. An underrated character that I would not put above the first 4. Dude. Janos Audrin. I mean, come
Janos
on.
Audrin.
Janos is the shit. I might
Jesus.
actually have to like put him a little bit higher on the list because Janos, even though he wasn't a character that you could play, he was a really big part of the story.
And he was voiced by Rene Auberjonis, who is Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Right. And he was awesome. And very integral to the story, even from the first Blood Omen, because you had to use
the Heart of Darkness
to heal yourself. I mean, it was super
Oh,
important.
man. We could do a whole episode talking about how awesome the Legacy of Kain series is. But,
As long as we leave out Blood Omen 2.
What? They made a Blood Omen 2? Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Maybe we'll fire that one up next episode. But I think maybe we should wrap this up.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
Totally into it.
Once again, we're Restless Corpse and Providence from Virtual Bromance. You should probably check us out on YouTube. It's youtube.com/virtualbromance. On Facebook, you can give us a like. It would be pretty cool. On facebook.com/virtualbromance. It's all up there in the corner. We also have a Twitter, which we don't really update a whole lot.
Over
We
there?
probably should. No, up a little bit. Straight up.
Oh, you're talking about that stuff. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about the
No,
over
you're
on the
pointing
side
at me,
stuff.
man.
This stuff.
I mean, you could try to...
Right up there in front of Kane and Cecil.
Right.
Glam
So,
Rock Cecil.
do that. Jump on the YouTube channel. Check out some videos. Give us a subscribe if you're into it. If you just think that we're awesome but our videos suck, go ahead and subscribe anyway. Why not? And
Yang. Sorry. The Kung Fu Man.
also, I want to, as a last words type of thing, I want to tell Spiral that I'm coming for him. And that if he does not finish BioShock, I will, in fact, ruin the game for you. By rickrolling you with,
Everyone dies, bro.
with
Everyone
a video of the ending. It's been too long, bro. Too long. Do you have any final words here before we kill it?
I'm a little bit scared to have final words. My Kinect just turned on and wants me to Bing search for Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Great final words. See you guys later.
Later, guys.